but after a while, when you get certain divisions that year in and year out just aren't good, and you know that Clemson's going to win the division every year, for example, it just gets old. And I like the idea of, hey, okay, these two teams have been the best all year long. If they played in the same division, so be it. So I like those teams at least getting the opportunity. For the Mountain West specifically, last year was a down year for the conference. You said it might be the worst in its history, which dates back to 1999. There were, though, 4 new coaches last season. There was a lot of quarterback injury, quarterback turnover, a lot of things I think that went into it being one of those types of years for the league. So now as they look to bounce back and have one of their front runners potentially make a push to get back to a New Year's Six. It's been a while since that's happened as well.
2012?
2014.
2014.
I was there. So fun fact, I used to work for the Mountain West Conference. It was my first job out of college. I was their digital reporter doing Player of the Week videos and all of that stuff. But it was, they played in the Fiesta Bowl. It was Boise State, Arizona that year.
Okay.
And it hasn't been since then. And so Boise is the favorite to win the Mountain West this year. Fresno State not too far behind, plus 350. Boise State 2-1 favorite here. But generally speaking, what do you think of the conference, especially at the top?
Yeah, Boise State should be favored. They probably have the best quarterback in Talon Green. They can also run the ball very well. Huge home field advantage up there, too, when you consider it. This is, of course, when you're betting these conferences, it's to win the conference championship game. So that alone, winning the conference regular season doesn't cut it unless a book offers that. You better be careful to read your ticket and read the rules, as we always say. I think they deserve to be a pretty clear favorite here. Fresno State, obviously they win it last year, but they lose the quarterback, and Tedford's got to retool there. Air Force will be strong defensively. Anyway, we look at the Boise State schedule here. I mean, you're going to learn a lot when they have to go to Washington, right, and to go to Olympia right away and see how good that they are.
Those first 4 weeks of the season are like, okay, who are you really?
Well, they really are. There's not a lot. There's no breathers in there, right? I mean, they're gonna and they're gonna get better for conference play in the course of playing the tougher competition at the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. That'll set them up better. Air Force has to replace the quarterback and the tailback out of that triple option game that they run. Their defense, to your point, for the last couple of years, but last year, I mean, they led the conference in third down percentage defense. They were very strong. I always struggle when I play Air Force that you need the defense to get a team off the field. Often they can't do it. But that hasn't been the case. Extremely easy schedule for them here, and I like the way it lines up in conference play as well. You look at Air Force around 4-1 to win the conference. Maybe they have a path to get to the title game, and then if they get to the title game, they're not going to be a 4-1 dog, right? You have some value there. So when you look at some of these other teams, it's really a bet to get to the title game and then take advantage of your position.
I wrote in my notes here, I wish I had more confidence in Air Force's offense because of this schedule. Like you look at it there, first 4 weeks, Robert Morris, Sam Houston, Utah State, and at San Jose State. You get SDSU at home. Wyoming's had struggles. Navy with a new head coach. CSU, who's terrible. Army, Hawaii, who's terrible. UNLV at home with a new head coach. Like a lot of things play into their favor before you hit Boise for the last game of the season.
They might be favored in every game.
Yeah.
I mean, there'll be some close lines on the road, obviously, right? But I mean, they should be favored. Yeah, that's a close game at San Jose. They'll be favored at Colorado State. Navy's not a conference game. They'll be favored at Hawaii. I mean, they won't be a dog of a field goal for sure in any game until they get to Boise, at least now if you had look-ahead lines.
What do you think of my alma mater, San Diego State, year 3 in the second iteration of Brady Hoke?
I actually think they have the biggest upside because that team struggled early, and then they made the quarterback switch to Jalen Maiden, and I thought that was a totally different team, right? They became much more dynamic. Here at Circa, they're 7-1 to win the division. But look at their win total of 7, just a little bit to the under. I like the San Diego State win total over here as a play in the conference.
I like that. And you said it, Jalen Maiden made a huge difference to this team last year. They started the year 2-3, go 5-2 down the stretch. He has 2,261 yards, 15 touchdowns in 7 games. So it was a dramatic change. They do have a new offensive coordinator this year in Ryan Lindley, who should be a positive for them. I worry about losing the top receiving options that they had from a year ago. And at least defensively, even with all of the turnover that they're going to have on that side of the ball, that year in and year out, San Diego State has just been kind of known for defense. And that's where they make their hay. I think I think that I still have confidence that they should be good. From the schedule standpoint, it is tough having to face Fresno State and Boise in the regular season, but you do get them both at home. At Air Force will probably be a tough one, in UCLA and Oregon State and non-con. But to your point, that win total sitting at 7, I definitely see them winning 7 games. My question is, am I going to land on a push, or can I get the over?
Yeah, it's tough. You're probably coming 2-2 into the schedule, right? Into the Mountain West. So can you get to 6 wins?
I think they could beat UCLA. UCLA's got a lot of turnover too.
I always said, why didn't Chip Kelly go, and he's gone now, but go and get somebody like Rocky Long to be his defensive coordinator. I mean,
Speaking of San Diego State,
they struggled defensively so much, and they needed a defense. Of course, that never happened. But, you look at the way that the schedule sets up. They get Boise down in San Diego. They have to go to Air Force, which is never an easy game to go and play at elevation. Hawaii should be a win for them. At San Jose, it all come down to the last 2 games, right? Against San Jose and Fresno for the win total, probably.
I was looking at just Mountain West Conference Championship games, period.
Mm-hmm.
Fresno State, Boise State, Air Force, San Diego State. 15 of the 20 all-time spots for the Mountain West Championship.
Have featured those 4.
Yes. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of rotation from the bottom of the league coming up to steal these spots.
I wish Boise wasn't so short, because I like them to win the league, and if they get off to a good start early, that running back duo is awesome. Genty and Helani, so good, since they moved on from Bachmeyer to Taylor Green, like you said.
But 2-1 is not the worst price in the world.
It's not the worst, but I don't want it.
Well, would you rather lay 130 and go over 8?
I also wouldn't want to bet it after they beat Washington. If they beat Washington on the road,
if they beat Washington, they'll be $1.20 to win the league.
So maybe you do get it now while you can.
I think that it's about right. The price is about right, and somebody else is going to have to take a step up, because I think, they're the most balanced team, and they're most balanced team offensively.
I wonder if Wyoming can take a little bit of a step up. Since 2017, they've gone at least 500 or better. Great defense, but offensively, since Josh Allen was drafted in 2018, they haven't been able to.
Even
get
when Josh Allen was there, they weren't
the best. No, they weren't. That's why he was doubted so much
know.
coming into the league.
But Bowles a good coach. I mean, Greg Bowles a good coach. And they won 8 games last year, but to your point,
but they haven't gotten over 8 since 2017. So it's like, come on.
They're always this mid-tier 4th, 5th, 6th team, but get to a bowl game.
They get me excited. That's what a lot of these teams do, though, in the Mountain West. And the Mountain West in the back end of the year is kind of similar to the Pac-12 sometimes. Like, they beat themselves up. They lose the unexpected game. Oh, San Diego State losing week 1 to Arizona last year still physically pains me. But this is the year, ladies and gentlemen. Plus 750 for San Diego State to win the Mountain West. Boise, your favorite. But our guy, Mike Palm here, looking at that 4-1 on Air Force with a little bit of intrigue.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.